مسكي الزاكي أبثك كل أشواقي.
Says in Surah Isra, chapter number 17, verse number 23 and 24, it says that after worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the next duty is respecting your parents. The Quran says in Surah Isra, chapter 17, verse 23 and 24, that Allah has ordained for you that you worship none but me, and that you be kind to your parents. And if any one of them or both of them reach old age, do not even say a word of contempt. Don't even say uff to them. You can't even say uff to them. But lower to them your wing of humility and address them with honor, and pray to the Lord that cherish them as they cherished me in childhood. Imagine, the Quran says, if any one or both of your parents reach old age, you cannot even say uff to them. In the Western world, you have the concept of old age home, where the parent gets old, put them into the old age home. There is no concept of old age home in Islam. Because the duty of the children and the relatives is to look after the elderly people. They have to respect them, they have to love them.
وعينا منك سائرة تخاف علي من فقري ويوم وداع فجرا وما أقسى من فجري يحار.
Daddy was sitting there rocking in his chair, and I thought, how many times did my dad hear that from us? How many times did he put up with us kids? And, and my mom too, for that matter. And I walked over to my dad. It's not in our culture, our habit, but I've seen Muslims do it. I leaned down to him, and I kissed him on the forehead. And I said, Dad, I love you. And he said, I love you. I looked at me kind of startled. And I went back and sat down and went back at it. And it got quiet. It got quiet in the kitchen. I guess they worked it out, huh? And then after a while, the door opened. And I heard footsteps coming toward me, right up behind me. And as I turned around, my daughter leaned down and kissed me in the same place I just kissed my father. And she said, Dad, I love you. And she walked off and left me not knowing that I was crying, tears running down my face. And then in a little while, the other one finished up the dishes, and she came out and walked that same path, made a bead straight over to me, and kissed me again in the same exact place. Neither one of them knew I did that. And she said, Dad, I love you. And that was a sign from Allah to me to recognize the value of taking care of your parents. And this is the teaching in Islam. The clear teaching in Islam. It's just not honor your parents, but it is to really serve your parents. And this is what Islam teaches us to do. Alhamdulillah.
دعائك فرجت به كربي وأحزاني ودادك لا يشاطرني به أحد من البشر فأنت النبض في قلبي وأنت النور في بصري وأنت اللحن في شفتي بوجهك.
الكبر أحدهما أو كلاهما فلا تقل لهما أف ولا تنهرهما وقل لهما قولا كريما.